Hi guys, hope you're all keeping well. It's time to go through the value for money page that you've got set as your last bit of work. Now, it's important to mention with these that you have to compare either the same amount of things and then their prices to get the marks, or show that you can get more of the things for a lesser price. Okay, so it's about comparing the same amount of whatever the question is talking about and showing that the price is less, or saying that you would get more of it for a lower or equivalent price. No, just trying to get it close to it and then saying, well, you know, it's therefore cheaper. That's not enough. Okay, so very quickly go through these first ones. They're very easy to do. 3 tickets for this one would cost £24, so we can see that this one's cheaper. 2 sandwiches here would cost £5, just doubling. This is just proportion, so this one would be cheaper in this case. I'm not going to go through all of these. I will do the answers and then edit the video and just make it appear so that you can mark your work. Pause the video and mark your work. Same goes on question 2. The only difference with this one is that you might have to multiply both parts of these to turn them into the same amount. So for example, I can't compare 2 croissants to 3 and decide which is the better value, but I can turn both these amounts into 6 croissants quite easily. So on this first one I would times by 3 and therefore times the cost by 3. So 48p times 3 would be £1.44. And I would double 3 croissants to turn them into 6 croissants. And if I double 75p, that would be £1.50. So I can see that these ones are the better value. Okay, once again, I won't go through them all live on a video, it just take ages. So I'll do them now, and you can pause the video in a second to mark your work. Okay, here are the answers to question 2. Just one thing I'd like to mention is that you don't always have to make the amounts bigger to find an amount that they both go into. You could find an amount which goes into both numbers. So for example, on question D, I halved the number of chocolate bars here to get 5, and I divided by 3 to turn this into 5 because it seemed just as easy as timesing them. So as long as you're comparing the same amounts, it doesn't matter whether you make the amounts larger or smaller. The other thing to mention is that just because we're dealing with money, it doesn't mean we have to stick to the normal rules of money and therefore have 2 decimal places. On question H, I turned these both into 50 minutes, dividing this one by 4 and dividing this one by 7. And I ended up with this amount of money, which, you know, is not an amount that you could spend in a shop, but it still now allows us to compare the prices. Now, I would rather pay £1.75 for 50 minutes worth of calls than £1.78.57142. So just because we can't have that much money doesn't mean we can't use that to compare which one's better value. Similar for the last one. Again, I turned them both into 100 grams. And I know I can't have that much money, but it enabled me to see that this one was better value.